Flash Norton versus Ice Train. Ice Train!
Ice Train!
2 words, no connection.
No, and I was trying to figure this out. His last match was in Germany.
That's right.
For EWP.
Yes.
Germany's new high-speed train lines. They're called ice trains.
Are they?
Yeah. So did they book him to capitalise on the ice train chat?
Wouldn't it be good if what I thought was a failed career had ended in total victory for Ice Train, where he managed to sell the rights to his name to the German government?
The German government for the
Absolutely
trains,
great. He is a classic example of one of those just rare guys that you get.
Triple HS2.
He's one step away from not actually having a career you can talk about. He did so little. His name was Harold Hogue, which is a good name. Yeah. And in 1993, he first appears in WCW. He then goes to Germany for 2 years.
Right.
That's not the usual progression for American wrestlers. They don't tend to go from WCW to Germany.
Beeindruckende Wrestler zum Ring, nämlich Choo-Choo Ice Train aus den USA, der einmal direkt von der WCW.
He comes back in 95 to WCW and they form a tag team with Scott Norton called Fire and Ice. And they never really do very much. And then
because they sound like a Butlins duo, like a musical duo. Fire and Ice.
Yeah, it's come and see the Fire and Ice show at the Wembley Arena. And it's all, just ice
too
skating.
Jazzy. It's too Andrew Lloyd Webber.
And also, I mean, they weren't very fire and ice. Scott Norton's nickname was Flash, and that also very ill-fitting name. Nothing flash about him.
No.
Flash is like fast. Yeah. He is not fast. He should have been called Scott Lump Norton, right? But Ice Train, after this breakup, and this is why we've got this match, the tag team are broken up, and this is their blow-off match. He then goes back to Germany. He comes back to WCW in 2000, renamed M.I. Smooth. And when WWF buys WCW, he just goes, do you know what? I'm retiring. And because he knows he's got no chance of going. He ends up going back to Germany for his very final match a number of years later. I think 18 years he didn't have a match, and then he had his retirement match.
That's such a bizarre career.
You never hear from him again.
Does he do like interviews and stuff?
No.
I want to talk to Ice Train. I want to know what the hell was going on there.
M.I. Smooth.
Sorry, M.I. Smooth. You keep talking about curry first, and it's very nice, but you know you could have had that in America. It's just curry powder and gravy.
It's such a strange again, you watch this match and you can see why. It's amazing WCW brought him back on a further 2 occasions.
I saw him and I was like, that guy's got a look.
Yeah.
And he'll work for me. Like, he'll work. But then it's just a bad match.
It's terrible. Scott Norton had, I think, in retrospect, a really, really undeserved reputation. And it was partly based on the fact he went to Japan, where he was very, very strong. And quite surprisingly, they made him the IWGP champion in the early 90s. And he was a very, very powerful man. But in Japan, it was okay because it was all about being stiff. Yeah. And so you could whack him and he'd stand there and take it, and then he'd give you a clothesline, your head would come off. Back in WCW, I mean, I don't know what happened to him, but it's like he's just full of like liquid cement. And he's so
dodgy,
slow to do anything.
Big and wide,
like 3 times gravity on him, just on him. And everything is just impossibly difficult for him to move around. But this is awful, but it's
it really is bad. And they've put a bandage on Ice Train, which looks quite debilitating, even though it isn't.
And I look at that and I go, why don't you just write on his chest, this one's going to lose?
Yes.
Because you're giving him an excuse.
Just write the shits.
The shit. The drizzling shits. Like that. Big letters. Competent. Nothing that you'd sort of go, well, that went wrong. But it's just fucking crap. It's so bad.
Absolute shite.
I hated this. I really hated it. And it's always a reminder. People talk about, the undercard of WCW pay-per-views at this time. Often the main events are lacking, but the undercard is always solid. And the answer to that is Ice Train versus Scott Norton. And then you just have to lean back like that. Yeah. I'm Scott Norton. It's taken me nearly 20 minutes to just lean back a bit. An appalling combo there.
Yeah.
The Steiners, Pete, are on CompuServe.
Yes, the Steiners are on CompuServe, and they seem to be playing some kind of bike game. They've been told to pretend they're on the internet.
Yeah, just go on the internet. And Rick Steiner just pretends he's got a steering wheel and goes...
Rick Steiner's confused what he's been asked to do, and on the word processing screen that they've given him, he's just pretending he's playing a video game, which is not what anybody asked him to do.
And there's no mouse. No. He's not on the keys. He's just got his hands above the keyboard, and he's going vroom, vroom, vroom. Brum, 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 brum. I mean,
it's demented, Mark. It really is.
Log on your computer, log on to CompuServe, and type Go Convention to chat with the Steiners. What are they doing?
They're not air traffic controllers.
Where'd you get that game?
They're having a good time right now.
They also look the most like proper leather daddies in the like the Blue Oyster Bar.
That's what I mean. Their look is very Tom of Finland, kinky.
I thought to myself, I mean, how is it such a thin line between like ultra alpha male hard man culture and extreme gay culture?
Hardcore sex.
And I was like, well, I sort of answered my own question there, didn't I?
It is. If you're a big alpha boy, you're like other big alpha boys, aren't you?
The same thing. That's what it is.
And if anybody fancies a fight, I can give you one. All right,
it was
or a fuck.
They look. If you took a photograph of either of them on that day in black and white, people would go, it's a moving picture of a like vanished time.
But it is, and you sort of go, I sort of think with big lads, big leather boys like that, you do sort of go, if I was fucking, like, people who like watch football, they sort of go, oh, the boy crush I've got on is this player, and it's always like some dandy.
Yeah.
Give me one of them fuckers. Fucking do me.
Rick Steiner
Rick Steiner.
Look, if you're
fucking biting the shit out my ass.
If you're gonna give it a whirl, then
do
why
it
not?
properly.
Exactly.
Do it at 11.
Exactly.
And then walk it back.
Yeah,
if there's anything you didn't like
don't leave anything on the table.
Exactly. There'll always be questions.
Yeah.
There'll always be questions.
Absolutely.
If you go for a little dandy,
scratch
man.
that itch.
What does a little 20-year-old twink know about hardcore super sex?
Yeah.
You want the big boy.
Yeah, Rick Steiner. Rick Steiner is in full denim. He's shuffling towards you. He's taking a load of cheap speed.
He's horny, but he's not hard, and he wants you to fix that.
He's been in the sun all day. His mind has gone, and he's only got 10 minutes before his match. Let's do this. Go on,
let's do this. Let's find out things about you.
Chris Benoit.
Oh God.
Versus Dean Malenko. Out comes little Benoit. A little Benoit, I shouldn't say that. I'm not going to suffer it.
Little Benoit.
I shouldn't imagine he was the only person who was there that day who went on to murder someone.
I mean, almost guaranteed.
Yeah.
In probably the same circumstances.
He comes out with woman, which is always, it just, no matter, the years haven't really changed, how I sort of uncomfortable I feel about that. And indeed, slightly how I think her family must feel about them sort of being, entwined together with no footnote on a paid-for service. And he's also there with...
It's all right. They're doing their best to hide everything. So WWE are trying their very best to hide everything.
I don't know what's happening with the network, but I can certainly see that they are beginning to sort of go, let's not keep this up.
Yeah.
And it just, there's something about it that library is ending.
Surely some absolute like by the very nature, wrestling fans are librarians, and you've got to think that someone's just gone through the whole of the old network and started smashing them into torrents.
I don't know who.
I
don't know what any of that means. I've got a 251 trig little hard drive that sits there.
You're not backing it up, though. I worry.
No, I know. I was thinking about the second one.
Your computer, you got vape juice in it.
I know. And
you'll get vape juice in it, Mark. You'll get vape juice in wrestling history.
When I was moving them all over onto that big drive, some of them fell by the wayside,
right? And
I lost the handheld film of WCW's 1993 show at Wembley Arena that I was at.
Right.
And I can't find it again.
Yeah.
And I can't find it online. So if anyone's got that WCW 1993 footage, I've lost that. And I feel like, oh, well, that's gone forever now.
Yeah.
That's it.
You're the only one who thought about it.
Only one who did it. Bought myself a fancy new drive. Oh, I'm going to save it all. Throw this away. I'll just store it in the recycle bin, then I can pull it out later. The other lady with Benoit coming out is Miss Elizabeth. And she comes out in her in a leather basque and
she's gone leathery. Oh, I haven't hung out with leathery brutes. Is Miss Elizabeth? Isn't she
doesn't look that comfortable doing all this.
No,
they mentioned Princess Diana at one point in this show, and I did find myself sort of thinking Miss Elizabeth is like the American Princess Diana.
Yes.
She's very sort of coy and bashful. and behind the scenes has a torrid private life. But she looked like she was being paraded here as something that she wasn't. And you can never quite shake the feeling that she's like, I hope this is,
okay.
I don't quite like it, but everyone else seems fine.
She just always, I'm sure something will save me.
Yeah.
She just always looks a bit
I
like...
won't always be doing this. Is the thing. One day I'll look back on this and I won't feel sad. You know?
Oh, God.
I mean, look, this is an excellent match. How could it not be? It's Benoit and Malenko in the mid-90s, the height of their powers, and very much knowing that they are on the up in WCW. It has very notable time calls, though, which none of the other matches have.
No. And let's face it, I'm not that au fait with time calls.
Yeah.
And I'm fairly certain the speeded up Leather Daddy Maniac Biker Boys will also not be across it either.
They need to do a thing where if you do that and you don't have time calls throughout your whole of your card, what they need to do is when they go 10 minutes, they have to go, so this match will end in a time limit draw and is over. That's all you need to do.
Yes.
As soon as you hear that, you go, okay, so we're going to a time limit draw. That's what they do. There's a little bit where Malenko does a superplex off the top turnbuckle onto Benoit, and they frame it, and you've got the sun just peeking down below the mountains. I really sort of looked at that and I thought, if I was Malenko, I would print that out. I would do a screenshot of that. I would print it out. I'd have it in my house. Let's go. That's a lovely shot.
A lovely picture.
A very nice one. They run out of time. It's a time limit draw. The referee then says, I mean, there is no reaction to it being a time limit draw.
No.
Which is, fair enough. It's a disappointing call. But then the referee says, no, you're going to do 5 minutes more. And the crowd don't make any extra noise. They just go, like that. And then there's a 5 minute extra time, and again it ends in a time limit draw, and the crowd again are silent.
Yeah,
but then they go, "We're going to give them 5 minutes more." That gets them going. They boo. They boo like they've never believed before.
It must be a winner. They got another overtime. There must be a winner.
Ladies and gentlemen, the referee has declared another 5-minute overtime period.
Well, that brought a roar from the sea of heads, and the people are mad because Benoit thinks he should be the winner.
Heyman jumps straight in to go, they're booing because they thought that Benoit should have won the last one. And he tries to cover it. You go, no. They booed when he said 5 more minutes. And then they were like, no.
Get someone else on.
No. A great match.
Yeah.
Any other arena in the world at this time, this would have brought the house down.
Banger, yeah.
It would have been remembered as an all-time classic. And as it is, it's a good classic, totally ruined by a crowd who don't really understand who these guys are, what they're doing, or why they should care. Booing. The only time they make any noise is right at the end where Malenko sort of grabs Woman at ringside just before Benoit rolls him up for a pin. And when he grabs Woman, they all go, yeah,
woman grabbing.
Good. We cut to Mean Gene after this match, and Gene's also done his own little bit. He's wearing, proper mint, fresh out the packet, bright blue new denim.
Yeah,
and he's got a sort of denim sleeveless sort of jerkin.
A Turner Sports denim hat.
Yeah.
Nice.
Oh, yeah. I love that Gene is just like, I need some fucking clothes. And he just gets the company branded stuff. But I imagine if you went to the back, they'd have a little sort of, hey, help yourself to a... And Gene just could give me that fucking hat. On it goes.
Welcome back, everybody. This is Sturgis, and this is Hog Wild. I got a little nuts last night. I bought one of these, and I didn't realize what I was doing. Everybody's doing it. I also picked up some ranch land here for, I don't know, a little extra dough. Welcome back, everyone, ladies and gentlemen.
All right, fans, welcome back to the Mall of America, Minneapolis, Minnesota, WCW's Monday Nitro here on TNT. To think I could have bought 10 acres of land here for $17 grand in 1953. Of course, I was only 8 years old at the time, so who knows?